Welcome to Forks and Franchise, the podcast where we'll dive into the savory world of restaurant franchise success. I'm your host, Caleb Clark, and I'm here to serve up the juiciest success stories, industry insights, and the secret sauce behind building a thriving restaurant franchise. Join us as we explore the world of restaurant franchising one episode at a time. Stay tuned and get ready to feast your ears on Forks and Franchise, presented by MTY Group. Welcome to the Forks and Franchise podcast on behalf of MTY Group. With more than 90 brands in the fast casual, QSR, and casual dining, MTY Group is one of North America's leading franchising teams. If you're interested, we are very excited to connect you with a concept that you will love. Today, my guest, Zafar Rashid. He is a business owner. He is a franchisee of Big Smoke Burger. Zafar, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you.
So Zafar, let's start here. Bring us back to the beginning. What was the origin story? What compelled you to buy into the concept, to buy the store and begin this journey?
Sure, Caleb. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. So I started in 2016. I was running a Starbucks location, and then, I've decided that time the franchising business was growing. I decided to get into the franchising. I went to the show. I met one of the best mentor. I'm still in touch with. His name is Bill Hammam. He was the general manager for Ontario MTY business. He recommended me the location I'm sitting at. It's a very legendary location. It's the first Big Smoke burger which was ever opened. I spoke to him, and then he advised me, to acquire that location. One of the best decisions I ever made. The reason was, I just wanted to entrepreneurship where I can get a little bit freedom with my time, with my money, and most importantly, where I can scale. So I needed a help with the franchisor because of the real estate and numerous benefits they have. And, now I look at back, and this was one of the best to see and best location I acquired.
And where's your location for those of us that don't know?
It's in downtown. It's heart of the entertainment district. It's on King Street West and Port Lane. We are open on the weekend till 5 a.m. Friday, Saturday, it's a party, one of the busiest locations in Canada. Very, very successful location. Very lucky and privileged to be operating this location on the behalf of MTY.
That is a great location. Today is May 8th, 2024. The Maple Leafs have just exited the NHL playoffs, so that is not good for you guys. But that's a great location, and in this industry with this concept, location is critical. And so
restaurant is the real estate business. As again going back to my mentor from MTY, when I got the first location, he says, there's the three things in this business: location, brand, and management. I've been very lucky to, hit the jackpot with all three: location, brand, and management. It's been a great experience. Yes. So in Toronto downtown, we depend on the Raptors, Blue Jays, and the Maple Leaf. Trust me, if they're doing well, we're doing well. And unfortunately, when their season ends, I'm sad.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. I'm out west here, but we'll have a sports podcast another time. You talk about mentorship, and you sought out mentorship from the franchisor, from MTY Group. Tell me a little bit about those early days of mentorship. What was talked about? What was learned? How did that set you up for success today?
Sure. Thanks, Caleb. Caleb, when I met Bill Hammam, he was already in the business for 30 years. He's operated several brands, right? So it was my first business. So there was a different chances. If I go as an independent, there was a higher risk of failure. So I choose to have someone who really means and who's sport and who's very sincere with me, with the real estate location, with the marketing. And I was a bit nervous as a opening a first business. So I needed somebody, who can hold my hand and, give me a little bit confidence and help me make the right decisions. I was very nervous. I was very scared. I was worried. At that time, there's a group of people from MTY. Of course, they have, as you mentioned, they have over 70 brands, 70,000 locations, huge company, like thousands and thousands of leases, right? So, of course, as a first business, they make a right decision on you. They choose the right location. They choose the right concept. The most important, they choose the right franchise operator, And you needed that because you're investing heavy money. As you know, entering a restaurant business is a very heavy investment. So you don't want to go blindsided. I never advise anybody, to go as an independent, as a first business. And as what I've learned in any business, your first location in a brick and mortar must work. If you can make your first location work, now you have a confidence, and then from there you can scale. And when you try to grow, even if something doesn't work, you can always go back to your basic and you can rebuild it, right?
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think what's especially great about that is you coming into this journey as a business owner, as a franchisee, not being too proud to say, hey, I can do it on my own, but to be comfortable reaching out for support and leaning on the network and the group. I think that that's a true testament to strong business leaders, are the ones that don't have that pride, that I can do it by myself, but to lean into the infrastructure and the support system that's there. I think that's awesome.
Caleb, there's a few things that I agree with you. Business is ultimate team sport, right? You can't do it alone. You gotta understand, right? And the second thing is, as a small business owner, ego is the enemy, right? So a lot of small businesses owner, they struggle. They have too much pride, right? So I learned earlier on, the moment I got the first location, I spoke to the brand's president, great guy Bruce Miller at that time. And I met with the marketing director. I said, guys, this is a team effort. Let's do it. And you know what? First year when I pick up the location, it was doing 500,000 a year. Caleb, the next year, within the first year, it did $1 million net. And from the following year, it is 1.1 million. And from there, it's taken over, and I was able to scale. But the key was there was no ego. I was able to have the help, and the franchisor was very sincere and honest. Mm-hmm. It's a business relationship. I insist they want you to make sure I do well and I succeed, and it's a mutually very great beneficial relationship from there. Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
As a person, as a business leader, what drives you? What is it that you rely on as that fire internally because not a lot of people can do this. Not a lot of people are cut out for this. So what drives you personally?
Yeah, it's a passion and sickness. I'm almost obsessed with the restaurant business. I went to school for hospitality. Yeah. Then I worked in a 5-star hotel, and then I was groomed from different companies like a Yum brand, Starbucks, KFC, Kera restaurant, the Swiss Chalet. So they instill like a lot of years of training, passion, commitment. And the first thing was the fear as well. Once you invest your first money, whatever the money you have, you put it on the line, right? So there is a fear. Fear is a big factor. You don't want to fail, so you do whatever it takes to do it, to succeed. Yeah. And then it's your passion. I'm obsessed. I definitely and absolutely genuinely, I love people. Yeah. And I just love chatting. I love communicating with the people. And then, I just want to have a little bit freedom. I'm an immigrant myself, right? I immigrated to Canada for, better economical conditions. I wanted to grow. I wanted to make, my family proud. We have a big network. So I went with the very, clear dominance. And I just wanted to make sure that I'm committed. I want to succeed at whatever it takes, it costs. And that led scaling, growing business, making my family proud. And the most importantly, at this level of my life, I just want to help other people, right? I've done it for 7-8 years, right? I got lucky, I've done very well because of that. So this is the time, I just want to hold other people's hand, get them better, and introduce the most important thing. But I recently learned franchising is a great business. It gives ability to scale, grow, make money, gain freedom. There's so many benefits in that. And this is one of the easiest way and the most risky way. Business inherently is very risky. So franchising makes it, very less risky, and it gives you all the support, right? Yeah. So the reason was, inherently I was passionate about restaurants. I wanted to grow, scale, become successful, make my family proud, and create opportunity, which is hopefully, creating a generational business, right? I have assemblies which are 15 years to go. Yeah. I'm looking to bring my family into the business, and hopefully they would continue and will grow with MTY.
That's it's a very inspiring story. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I think for some potential franchisees, there's a misconception out there that if you invest into a franchise brand, a supported brand that, you have the benefit of the franchisor and MTY Group, that you can just kind of close your eyes and it's plug and play and you don't have to think. That's not true, is it? You need to drive as a business leader. Tell me about what it takes, or what you've perceived it takes to run a thriving, successful restaurant, even though it's part of a franchise support system.
So Caleb, the franchising is a very successful, proven concept. So when you're getting into the franchising as operator, you're taking their brand and you're operating it, and that brand is already successful. but you have to dig your own well to get a water. So MTY is going to give you all the support, and they're going to give you, I would say, 70% of success already there. They'll choose the location for you. They'll buy a very good supply chain management for you. They'll do marketing. They'll take care of the legal for you. If there any problems happen, they'll help you out. They'll coach you. They'll train you. They'll help you with the hiring, right? And with the financing. So they would set you up 70% for success. And then there's a certain things you have to do. You have to take your own responsibility. Restaurant business only works if your community supports you. It's a very simple business. The people who live around you, if you have a good reputation with them, they'll support you. So you have to be heavily involved in the community. And then you have to, one of the lessons I learned earlier on, because I was working with a good franchisee as well. So he told me you always have to do what franchisor expect you and some more. So the franchisor set up the brand standard, which is good for your protection and for the brand protection and growing your business. So that's the minimum you got to do. There's no compromise. Those successful franchisee, they buy into 100% of the brand standard, the concept and the leadership and the marketing and operations, and then they do above and beyond, right? It is basically a small business owner. They give you the territory to build your own business and grow from there through the marketing, through the operations, through the word of mouth, and they give you all the tools. But at the end of the day, it's your business. You've invested heavily and you have the operating agreement from the franchisor. And I can assure you, this is one of my best experience I ever have. If I have to go back and franchise with anyone else, I wouldn't do it, because I'm very thankful and grateful for all the support I got over the last 7 years. They hold my hand, and the most important thing, they give me ability to grow. So from one location, I've been able to grow to 4 locations, right? And last 5 years since 2020, it's been very challenging, very successful, very stressful. So wherever I had an issue, that's where I go for help, and they always come through for you, right?
That's awesome.
So yes, as a franchisee, you're a small business owner, you're gonna give your best, and as you say, seek help whenever it's needed.
Yeah. That's great. Tell me about your experience you came in, started with one location, one restaurant. What was the experience like working with MTY to say, hey, listen, I want to take this and do more. I want to grow within the group, whether that be within the same brand or different brands. What was that experience like?
You know what? MTY is a very huge company. They have, you mentioned 90 brands. Right. So the thing is, as a franchisee, you gotta be able to have a big system where you can scale and when you can grow, right? Because the real money, the profit and the freedom with the time will come when you have a bigger system, right? Because having a one location is great, right? But that's your starting point. You need to have an end game in the mind. You can grow to 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, right? At 20, my personal goal is to do $10 million in sales. Right now, I'm doing 5.5 million. So I'm looking to grow, right? So the reason I went with MTY, you can grow within the same brand. Like, as I say, I have a Big Smoke Burger, South Street Burger, ice cream brand, La Dipri, one of the really great brand as well. And now I'm looking actively for acquisition. I'm looking at the different thing, and MTY gives you opportunity to grow in the same brand, different market, different concept. Is not only national company, it's an international company. So you can grow in US and it's all over the world, right?
That's exciting.
So I came in with the scaling in the mind, with the growing the business in the mind. And business, as I say, if you're not growing, if you're not getting better, it's getting worse. Especially for me, I'm very happy that I grew. The reason I grew, because you diversify your risk, right? Now you have a different retail locations. I feel very solid. Like, if something, if there's a construction in one location, or there's a power outage, or the demographics change, or any unexpected happens in one area, now you have a second, third, or fourth location. So you're protected against all the risk, and you continue to grow like that.
I love it. Talk to me about, there's 2 critical stakeholder groups that these groups need to be nurtured and be thoughtful about how you interact and engage, but it's critical for the success of a restaurant. So the first stakeholder group is your employees. Talk to me about your journey and your playbook on building a really solid, healthy internal culture. And what's your relationship like with your employees?
When I went to hotel school, one of the best lessons I learned, it was a 5-star hotel. The general manager came on the stage, he was training. I said, what is the most important thing? Somebody says, it's a building, it's a very fancy. Somebody says our food is great. Somebody says our location. I say, no, it's people. because hospitality, restaurant is a hospitality business, right? You have to be genuine and you have to connect with the people. Without hospitality, the restaurant business will never do well, right? So the most important thing in the restaurant business is people, because people are going to clean the restaurant, they're going to maintain the restaurant, they're going to make the food, they're going to deliver the food. At the same time, they're going to interact with the customer, which is very important, right? So hospitality is a people business, right? And for my thing, I have two theories for dealing with people. One of the lessons I learned from, he was a vice president of Disney. I went to Florida for training. He says, treat your employees like your kids. Simple relationship. When they do well, you encourage them, you motivate them, and when they do bad, you never scared of them like your parents. You discipline them, you punish them, but you always keep them.
Yeah.
So my people philosophy is very simple. Some of my staff, they call me, Papa, Daddy. I really care about them. I pay them, very well, so they never leave. I treat them very well, so they never leave. Because restaurant business is a consistency business. Same customer, same product, right?
Yeah.
So it's a playbook in there. First of all, you're very sincere with them. You're very honest with them. You always give them the feedback. As I say, your parents are the most sincere with you, and they're never scared of you, and they give you feedback because they love you and they care for you and they want you to grow, right? So my relationship is the same with my staff. Second thing, the reason I grow from 1 location to 4 locations and more locations in the very near future, because I want my people to grow. I have people that came as a staff, the general manager. I want everybody. Right now, all my 4 general managers, I want them to franchise their own business with MTY, right? Because I've seen the growth, I've seen the success. I owe my success to them. So every day I'm very committed to employee growth, so they can, because MTY helped me achieve my goal, and I owe to my employees who helped me get from 1 location to 4 locations, so they can franchise their brands, hopefully multi. I actually, because of the last 4 or 5 years, I joke with my general, I say, you guys should be able to do 20 restaurants, 20 franchises, 10 franchises. I was on the stage to do it until the pandemic hit and the business dropped down to 70%, 80%. It's been difficult 5 years. Otherwise, I would have like 15 or 20 franchise locations with MTY. So people philosophy is very simple. You care, you love them, you discipline, you coach, you grow, you treat them so well so they never leave. You pay them so well so you never leave. I have a great culture. I have a great retention. The reason I've been consistently hiring, I recently hired like 10 to 15 people in this month for the summer season. The reason I hire people is never because any of my employees leave. The reason I hire is because I'm growing my business. My sales are growing, my locations are growing. And I joke with people. I say, when I interview the new people, I say, ask them how long they're going to work. And everybody say, we want to work for 5 years, 10 years. Some of my general managers that say, we want to work for life, right?
That's awesome.
That's my philosophy. Just keep them.
That's
the only time they leave my restaurant when they do their own business, or they grow, or if MTY has an internal great opportunity. I also develop people for MTY. Recently, they were looking for district manager. I went to my general manager. I say, hey, this is a great opportunity for you. You're taking care of a couple of locations. Now you can take care of 20 locations. So please go apply. MTY was very happy. They were pleasant. Okay, yeah, this guy's been taking care of the brand with you. Yes, we're very interested in the far. Are you willing to give? Yes, I'm very happy. I'm excited and passionate about this individual. I think is a great fit, right? So it's always about growing internally.
It sounds to me that it is very much not a situation where your employees simply come in and trade their time for money. It seems to me much more than that. They're part of building something that they can put their thumbprint on. Is like, I had a hand in building that, and you've fostered that culture. I think that's awesome. What about the way you nurture relationships with your community, with the people that actually come into your restaurant? And maybe it's a part of their regular routine, maybe it's a one-off, but tell me about how you approach integration with the communities.
Right now that it's a very difficult economic condition, right? It's winners take all. You got to be top 1% to win all. We're competing not with other restaurants. There are too many big companies, right, as well. So the thing is, I believe in community work. We do so many community work. Like even last month, I can tell you, every month I have a marketing girl. We go out and we find events to do it. There was a food drive. We went there. We did a donation for 40 meals. There was another event where there was a youth program. We donated 50 meals. So actually, I have a budget for every month. I want to go up, and I recently I met the member of parliament from Markham region. I said, listen, I want to do a great work. please tell me where can I donate. So I'm looking for donating 100 meals, 50 meals, 150 meals. And you know what? MTY is supporting me a lot. So I spoke to the district manager for MTY. I say, I want to do great stuff, right? The things are tough. This is a far great guy. His name is Ryan, great marketing manager. He says, Zafar, please do community work. Whatever you need, we'll support you, right? We'll support you with the food, time, marketing expertise. So basically how this relationship works is I reach out to any events happening within my district. I talk to them, what do you guys need, right? And they always, food is a great, contributor. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat often, right? And you know what? Last time I met the guy, you can feed the volunteers. You can donate to the homeless shelters. There's unlimited opportunity. And I'm in downtown Toronto, so you can imagine how many community events. It's a big city. How many community events are happening every given day? There's some. Trust me, we don't miss any.
Yeah.
Whenever there's opportunity with any event, now actually I'm doing more active. I'm going out. I'm approaching people like, relentlessly. I'm saying, guys, what do you need? Like, we want to help you, right? And trust me, this is the only way, because again, as I say, your restaurant will only do well if your community will support you. You need a goodwill, you need a good reputation, and you need to give back.
Yeah.
At certain time, the more you give, the more you get, right? Giving back is a must thing, right? And I can't do it alone, to be honest, because of these, high food costs and very difficult economic conditions. There's too many pressures in the business right now at the given moment. So I needed help. Again, who do I go to? I went to the MTY. This is Zafar. Please go ahead and do it. We are 100% with you. And Caleb, I'm able to execute. Anybody needs help in the community, I'm there to help them with the food and if anything else they need. Yeah.
You just keep surprising me in terms of the inspiration you instill, and being a part of the community. It's very obvious that's close to your heart and your strategy. So keep going, man. That's awesome. Couple more questions I'm curious about. The first one is, if you're comfortable sharing, what's one thing that comes to mind that represents the biggest challenge you've had to overcome since you started this journey?
It is pandemic. You know what?
Should have asked.
I have 2 locations in downtown Toronto. Even in the market, my 4 locations heavily depended on the lunch business. So 70 or 80% of my sales, Caleb, came in the lunchtime, right? And the lunch has disappeared since 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. And then there's inflation. Then there's a very, very high food cost. Food prices went through the roof, right? Insurance went up. All your services went up. Every services, from your cleaning, from your insurance, to your mat guy, to your utilities. And the thing is, there's a limit how much customer can spend the money on, right? So, I've never seen more difficult, but I'll share a positive thing. I've never been more successful in the pandemic. The worst time is my best time. My top location, which is doing $2 million a year, I acquired in the middle of pandemic. Another location, which is doing over $1 million net sales, I acquired in the pandemic as well. So you know what? When the pandemic happened, I saw I have to innovate, pivot, and adopt. And I went to the MTY right away. I said, listen, guys, my business has disappeared 70%. It's not coming back. What are we going to do? So Caleb, what we did, instead of lunch business, lunch is gone. It's still not there, right? People are not coming to offices. They're working from home. So I went and I was able to improve my delivery business. I was able to improve my, late night business. I was able to improve my, dinner business. And also I was able to co-brand, right? So honestly, the pandemic brought me, a lot of good luck as well. It's unfortunate people have to shut down, but I grew 100, 200, 300% in pandemic, because I see, when the times get tough, you gotta get tougher, right? Smooth ocean never makes a good sailor, right? I see the opportunities, I see there was opportunity, the difficult time, and I'm working on the same playbook. Right now, the things are very difficult, right? But the people who stick on, the people who are tough, I see opportunity every day. I go to my business, I make it better. And then it's about competition. You got to eat your competition, right? If, whosoever is next to you, if you're doing better than that, it's your advantage, right? So that's the most important thing, right?
I love it. I want to go off script here quickly on one with a super busy schedule, I imagine. How do you look like you're pretty in shape guy. Like, how do you balance life and health and family with the demands of being a business owner?
So it's a very good question. So as a business owner, the most important thing is you have to take care of your health, your body, your mind, and your heart, right? And so the health as a business owner, the most important thing is you. Especially for me as a multi-unit franchisee, taking care of 4 locations, high volume location, I gotta take care of my health. This is non-negotiable. It's your energy, it's your focus, right? And the most important thing, if you cannot take care of your body, your mind, and your heart, how can you take care of business?
I love it. I love it. I think that that's excellent advice, and you're a good example of that. So keep it going, looking good. For those of you who can't see, if you're listening on the drive, leave us with this. This is my last question for you. Let's just pretend that I, Caleb, was heavily considering investing in a franchise business, becoming a business owner like you. What would you leave me with in terms of some advice or some tips on how to make the most of this experience and best set myself up for success?
So the franchising, first of all, there's a lot of fundamental. Go with the big company because they have a supply chain, they have a marketing, they have a human sources. They've already proven successful. This is very, very important. And the franchising, basically you're going into the company which is already in the market for a long time. So this is the number one thing. Second thing is they have experience, right? They have a bigger system. The bigger system is the better system. They have proved themselves. They have a concept, right? As a franchisee, you need to go in because you're taking their brand and you're operating it. The first thing you have to believe is in the leadership of the brand and the brand. If you think you're smarter than them, please open your own business, right? There's a reason they've been in the business for long enough. You have to buy into their concept, do everything they tell you and some more, right? And from there, start operating your business, and then, believe in whatever they're saying, ask for help and grow from there, right? And don't do it alone. This is very simple. If it's your first business, right? Yes, if you're experienced, you can do a lot of different things. But if you're getting into the business for first time, don't do it alone. Do with somebody who's done it many times. And as I say, for example, I give you the very important location, the location. Restaurant is a real estate business. So when the franchisor, MTY specifically, is looking for, location for you, they have 7,000 locations. They've seen the good, bad, ugly. They've seen the success stories, right? So they'll not put you in the location which is not going to work out.
Right.
They will do it for you. And then when it's a supply chain, they will make sure they choose the right supplier for you. When there's some marketing, they'll make sure they choose the right marketing for you, right? When it's about the legal, they'll make sure they protect you legally. When you're going to go for finance and capital, right? Make sure they're going to do a good financing term for you. See, so there are some key decisions you have to make it right? If you make the decision right, your chances of success are very, very high. They will choose you. They will help you with everything 24/7. If you need help with the hiring, when I'm looking for manager, supervisor, before I put my ad out, I'll speak to my internal. One of the main things is the franchise, your community. So there's another like a 50 franchisees. I'm in touch with them. We have the same problems. We have the same opportunities. We have the same goals, right? So I pick up the phone and I call them, guys, what's happening? What are you focusing on? What's your priorities, right? I manage my business in very different thing. I have a priority, I have a routine, I have a data. So for me, running business is the simplest thing ever. I make it look and it is very easy once you learn it. So you look at every week and every month, what are your priorities? What are your top priorities? What are you focusing on? What are your goals, right? And then you have a routine. I'm going to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be off. And you always stick with your routine. I'm going to take 2 weeks vacations, right? So you have a priority. And then you're looking at the number, variance analysis. You're looking at your number. You're also seeing, where are you doing well? You want to do it more. Where you're shrinking, you got to stop the bleeding, you got to fix it, and you got to grow, right? And then business is not about, good or bad. It's about how much you're changing, right? What's your number? Is it getting better? Is your sales going up? Is your cost coming down? How's your profitability, right? And, where do you go? I look at my weekly numbers. I say, okay, which cost I can reduce? Where can I get sales? Recently, I discovered the catering business, right? So now, you can get into the catering. So basically, you got to go, it's like a sports team, right? You got to go to your business and you got to see, okay, I'm good. I'm going to get better. I'm not playing well. What is the core reason I'm not playing well? And how do I get it better from there, right? And then the main thing is you have a system. You have huge network with MTY where, there's there's a lot of operational executive because your operation has to be good, right? So for me, there's a problem. I try to solve it. I can't solve it. I give a call to the franchisees. Hey guys, what are you doing? okay, we have the same problem. I pick up the phone and call the MTY executives, right? I say, guys, this is my problem. It could be with the real estate, it could be with the lease, it could be with the financing, it could be with the capital, right?
Right.
It could be supply chain, right? It could be marketing. So if probably they've dealt with a similar problem, and sometimes they'll go, if it's your brand, they'll go in different brand, right? It's a cohesion, it's a learning, it's a shared learning, right?
Yeah.
So that's very, very important. I would say don't do it alone.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate team sport. Do it with other one, and then we have a great culture. We franchisee, we support each other too much.
That's
when the new
awesome.
location open, I'm the first guy to give them a phone. I'll say, congratulations, guys. You open. We want to make sure you're successful. Whatever it takes for us to make you successful. If it means, sending my staff there, sharing my marketing plan with you, sharing my experience with you, sharing my journey with you, whatever it takes. But we're going to make sure that you're successful as a team, right? This is again giving back and making sure we hold each other hand and we become stronger. When that franchisee becomes successful, now we have a few more franchises coming in, and we'll just repeat the cycle of success.
I think you're a very strong leader, very inspiring business owner. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your journey and your playbook and how you are approaching this game. And it is a game. You're playing the game well, in my opinion. And for you, I know it's about an hour away. You're going to start getting the grills fired up here, start welcoming your guests. So thank you very much for sharing, and all the best of success to you and to your family and to your team.
Thank you, Caleb. Just want to say thank you as well for inviting me, and sharing your experience and your wisdom, and much appreciated the MTY. I wouldn't have done without them. If I have to do all over, I'll do it again. I'm looking to grow with MTY in the future, and thanks for this. I really appreciate it.
Everyone, my guest, Zafar Rashid from Big Smoke Burger. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Stay tuned and get ready to feast your ears on Forks and Franchise presented by MTY Group. Subscribe now and let's embark on this flavorful adventure together.